Today's review will be dedicated to Peter F. Hamilton's collection of short stories, A Second Chance at Eden, which is set in the Confederation universe. Featuring 6 short stories and a novella on 496 pages, A Second Chance at Eden certainly exhibits traits similar to the 3 books of the Nightstone Trilogy, insofar as A Second Chance at Eden is comparatively long, at least for a short story collection. One counterexample would be Kim Stanley Robinson's The Martians, which at 336 pages consisted of 31 distinct entries. A Second Chance at Eden was published in the year 1998, thus 1 year earlier than The Naked God, the last entry of the Nightstone Trilogy. It should be noted, though, that some of the individual stories were published earlier in several science fiction magazines throughout the 1990s. Given that the 7 stories are all preceding the plot of the Nightstone Trilogy and heavily feature pivotal events of the Confederation universe in general, it is only fitting that A Second Chance at Eden should receive the unofficial volume number of 0.5, at least in my opinion. The semi-objective figures of merit are never easy to pinpoint, especially for a story collection. Nonetheless, let us quickly run them down for A Second Chance at Eden. First, most of the stories can be considered to be on the softer side of the sci-fi Mohs scale, although they are still harder than any of the main entries to the Nightstone Trilogy. The world building is quite vast for a short story collection, and due to that, can not reach the highest levels. Unsurprisingly, a similar effect can be observed for the amount of relevant main and side characters, where the medium of short stories itself will impose an upper limit to the dramatis personae. On the contrary, A Second Chance at Eden is not limited with regard to original ideas and novel concepts. It is rather chock full of them actually, since Peter F. Hamilton used some of these short stories as an incubator for various plot elements that would become central to the Nightstone Trilogy, such as the use of affinity and bitech, to name the 2 most obvious examples. In terms of critical reception, A Second Chance at Eden neither won nor was it nominated for any awards or prizes. However, some of its entries did receive critical accolades, as we will see later. A Second Chance at Eden's popular reception is quite respectable at a combined rating of 4.1 out of 5 stars based on thousands of Goodreads, LibraryThing and Amazon reviews. This is not a small feat, since collections or secondary entries to popular series, those books that would receive a floating point as its volume number to put it simply, have the tendency to end up being lackluster in quality. The aforementioned The Martians or Peter F. Hamilton's Misspent Youth are 2 examples for this phenomenon. Regarding adaptations, the first entry to the collection, Sonny's Edge, originally published in the magazine New Moon in September of 1991, was also adapted as an episode of the Netflix anthology Love, Death and Robots. The plot of Sonny's Edge takes place on Earth in the year 2070 and centers around the fictional sport of beastie baiting. This sport entails lethal competitions between synthetic monsters, which are manipulated through human affinity bonds. The second entry is the novella with the name A Second Chance at Eden, which is set in the year 2090. It is a detective narrative that delves into the origins of the society that would eventually evolve into the Edenists. This group inhabits Eden, a bitech habitat orbiting Jupiter, crucial for mining the fusion fuel on which Earth's survival hinges. Eden operates as a miniature nation, characterized by its radical political ideals and groundbreaking technological advancements. However, the plot takes a dramatic turn when Penny Markowitz, one of the architects behind Eden, is unexpectedly murdered by one of the servitor chimps bonded by affinity. Despite efforts, the perpetrator's identity and motive remain elusive. The third short story is New Days, Old Times, which takes place in the year 2245 on the planet Niven, where settlers arrived seeking an existence devoid of the animosities and hatred that plagued Earth. Regrettably, despite altering the environment and surroundings, the intrinsic aspects of human nature, specifically the propensity for conflict, remained unaltered. The fourth entry is the short story Candy Buds, first published in the magazine New Worlds No. 2 in the year 1992. In the year 2393, under the unyielding dominion of crime lord Laurus, Kariwak thrives on Tropicana with an unwavering grip, fiercely preserving mastery over the Bitech commerce. Nevertheless, with the sudden emergence of a remarkably novel substance on the streets, the realm of virtual reality assumes an entirely unprecedented aspect. The fifth entry is the short story Death Day, which was originally published in Fear magazine in February of 1991. On the barren planet Jubara, a man embarks on an all-consuming crusade of retribution directed at the sole remaining member of an alien species. However, this pursuit of vengeance has the potential to exact a toll on both parties. The sixth entry is the short story The Lives and Loves of Tiarella Rosa, which was originally published in a different form as Space Capacity in the magazine New Worlds No. 3 in the year 1993. Its plot takes place in the year 2447, again on the world Tropicana, and focuses on passion, destiny, and cloning. Finally, the short story Escape Route, which has been chosen for Gardner Dozois's prestigious collection, The Year's Best Science Fiction, marks the sixth entry to the collection. It was first published in the July edition of Interzone in 1997. Set in the year 2586, the narrative revolves around Marcus Calvert, the father of Joshua Calvert, an important protagonist of the Nightstone Trilogy. Aboard his starship, the Lady Macbeth, he comes across an ancient alien vessel that has been deserted for a considerable time, yet remarkably still retains its means of escape. Overall, the short story collection A Second Chance at Eden is a competently written, thought-provoking addition to the Confederation universe. Anyone who enjoyed reading the Nightstone Trilogy should consider to also give A Second Chance at Eden a shot. But I can also wholeheartedly suggest this collection to anyone who is interested in good science fiction short stories, since, in the end, these are all self-contained narratives. If you liked this video, you may also enjoy the other reviews and content on my channel. Feel free to leave a comment if you want to discuss the novels or if you want to suggest other books that I should review in the future. Please consider upvoting and subscribing, it is much appreciated. Thank you for watching and until next time.